Pasando. Aquí está pasando.
Están fritos. Welcome to Pasando DTLA. My name is TossTones.
Yo soy El Padrino, directly from Happening in Downtown LA Studios.
Y recuerda, aquí está pasando.
Hey man, how are you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling blessed. The most amazing time right now in my life. How about you? How about you?
Well, I'm not at your level, that's for sure, bro.
Kind of. Padrino.
Hey man, well, yeah, Padrino. I'm at the Padrino level.
You're in there.
But like last Wednesday, for people who tuned in, my boy TossTones was at the hospital, and we were doing the show from the hospital. I was at my house, he was at the hospital, and his wife was giving birth. So what happened after we closed the call, dude? Like what like run us through the steps. What happened?
So, man, shout out to Heidi Rodriguez, Queen. I'm so proud of her. She came through. We got a baby in our arms now. He's waiting for me. We got a baby boy. His name is Itzae John. Oh, my God. And it's like, it feels so amazing to be a parent for the first time. But let me tell you, if you go, after we're done with this show, go to the YouTube and watch watch all the episodes. Just go watch all the episodes, subscribe and everything. But you're going to see I'm in the hospital. You can even hear, yeah. I was hearing, you can even hear the IV, like not the IV, the vitals, yeah. My wife's vitals on the background.
Bro, you know what's crazy about that? When we started, the vitals were like a normal, like normal pace. By the end of the show, I noticed a drastic change. It was like faster. It like went up like a solid 3 beats per minute at the end of the show.
I'm sorry I put you through that. It was tough. It was tough because she was going into labor. She was getting she had everything hooked up to her, and she was in that, waiting for everything to open up and get on the zone to really welcome the baby. And I'm sorry, baby. I love you, and man, God bless my wife.
Ella estaba como que, mira, deja eso ya.
Man, I was in the middle of something, and I'm like talking over here, and I'm like, yeah, because we this and that and this. And she was like, oh, I had to mute her. She was like, oh, can you just, you already said it. Like, just shut up. Like, and I'm like, and I muted, and I'm like, in the middle of the show, you might see it. I muted a couple of times, and I'm like, baby, but like, it's my show. I got to talk. Like, oh, but you already got the point. Like, She was like, she was really going through it. And
yo, she almost threw a chancla at you, bro.
For real. Hey.
Yo, that's funny, man.
Yo, and it was a whole thing, but I'm the baby's home.
Yo, baby's beautiful.
Baby's gorgeous.
He's gorgeous.
I ain't got green eyes. That dude. Ese baby tiene los ojos de que verde hazel, like yo, he's so beautiful, and he went through it. And my wife went through it. It was pretty tough. The first few days, mind you, we went to the hospital from Tuesday to Saturday. Mm-hmm. That was the whole process, and I only slept 3 hours from Tuesday to Saturday.
Yeah,
it was real tough. I was the doula. I was a doula, even though I messed up in the show. I'm in the middle of the show. I stopped being the doula, and that was my bad, baby. I love you. I'm so sorry. Once again. But man, the baby came through. It was tough. I don't want to give too many.
No, you don't have to. But I'm glad, man. Like that, there was a lot of anticipation around it. Heidi has a good like community around her, so it's just beautiful, man. Just beautiful
blessed.
To see.
We're blessed, and just keep sending the good energy. And man, it's gonna be a journey. It's gonna be a journey. It's my first time, and I'm just learning. And there's no real indications or instructions. Every baby is different. But I'm staying in the promise that I was given, that baby is gonna be the biggest blessing in my life, and it's gonna bless other people. So
yeah. Hey, and
watch out for Itzae coming soon.
Quite literally a big blessing.
It was literally.
That's a big blessing. But hey, man, like on top of that, like yesterday, of course, the city changed, or not changed, but it was like a day of remembering, a legend in the city.
Legend.
And it's crazy because like this happened when Nipsey died, and it happened when Kobe died, but you feel the energy change in the city, like all throughout, right?
Completely.
And like it was definitely like a moment to remember, the legend Kobe,
Mamba,
Gigi and
Gigi.
the other families that were that passed in that tragic accident. But yeah, man, how did you feel? How did you feel yesterday? Just going through, the first year of of learning about that tragic accident.
Man, it was definitely it was tough. It was tough to be, it's like, again, like seeing all the posts and all the remembering that it's a reality that he's gone, and we feel it as Angelinos and as immigrants and everybody that's been here, because he was such a staple.
Yeah.
And he gave the city so much. And if there's something positive out of all of this, is all the legacy that he left us, and he already did the inspiration on us. But the fact that he left, we look at it in a different way.
Yeah.
And it's like we need to look up to the things that he left, the work ethic that he instilled in the whole league and Los Angeles and beyond, because the inspiration of Kobe is not just in the court. He did so many great things that inspire us to, if you really want something, and if you really like what you do, and if you have a purpose and you know it,
yeah,
like you gotta go at it in that way,
yeah,
where it's like a relentless effort, and man, I was in my feelings, and even today, like just looking at the pictures, it gives you that feeling of like, wow, Kobe.
Yeah.
Man, rest his soul. Rest his soul.
Absolutely. No, and for me, I remember everything I did, last year when I learned about that. Like it was a completely memorable day. Like I remember where I had breakfast. I played basketball that day. One of my good, like just crazy day, man.
I was there?
Yes,
I was there,
we
right?
played ball that day.
It was a day
and
to
remember
play ball.
my boy tore his ACL that day.
That's true.
Yeah, bro. Like it was a freaking tragic day, and I played with him like every single Sunday. Like that is my like basketball buddy, and we played ball, and we were just like going at it. Everybody at the court was just going hard, bro, because we felt like we needed to respect Kobe that day and play like Kobe would. Like he would be happy that we were playing,
Yeah, we did play hard. I mean, he played too hard that day.
Yeah, played. Yeah, it was a little too hard, but we did. It was just a memorable day. But yeah, man, I think Kobe. What hurts the most is that I feel like Kobe was just getting in his prime. Not in terms of like his physical ability or what he could do on the court, but in life. Like
his influence and his impact.
Exactly. Like he had just finished, getting some championships, getting some MVPs, and then all of a sudden winning other types of accolades in, let's say, like directing and like, he was writing. So all of a sudden he's becoming this well-versed human, like just a Renaissance man,
Yeah, but for me, one of the biggest things is the academy.
Right.
And seeing his daughter where she was going to be at, it was already a done deal. Like we already knew she was so nice with it.
She was.
If you know about basketball and you seen this girl, go check the clips.
Yeah.
This girl, man, I don't want to get into it too much because it's too sad. But she was just going to be the greatest.
She was.
She was going to be the greatest basketball player in WNBA.
Yeah. Like, how you see, like, LeBron's, like, kids, and you're like, they're good, but LeBron was definitely better. Like, Gigi was, like, exceeding all expectations, Like, she's just, like, amazing.
She was sweet with it.
But yeah, man, so it's, I want to show something about the influence of Kobe Bryant throughout the world. Yo, drop that picture for me, bro.
We about to do that right there?
Yeah, bro. Drop that picture. Let me show you this little kid from Puerto Rico.
Is that how we doing it?
Dang.
Is that how we doing it?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, look at that.
Yo, that's young El Padrino. That's El Padrinito.
El Padrinito.
Ese es El Padrinito.
Ese es la latita.
Ajá.
La latita.
Espera que... Ese es de 2 onzas.
Yo,
so this is...
That's great, bro.
I'm in 6th grade. Estoy en Fajardo. Estoy en la escuela elementaria Rosa P. París. En Fajardo.
¿Qué?
Yeah. And so, we have like our regular annual, like, picture for schools. And they had this backdrop, like a green screen. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna wear my Kobe jersey, yo, because I was a huge fan. So I took this picture, man, and as you see, I don't care much about Shaq, even though I love Shaq, but the main person here was Kobe, bro.
Diesel. Yeah, but Kobe, man. Hey, best of our condolences and best of energy to Vanessa and the rest of the kids, the beautiful girls, beautiful girls. And another thing, everything is like so many things that Kobe can inspire us. Like, I was gonna have the baby, and we didn't know. We wanted to wait till the surprise of the baby coming home and be like, oh, it's a boy, oh, it's a girl. And we were talking about that, and I was like, well, yeah, I'm a boy, so I want the boy, but if it's a girl, I'm ready for this to be the girl dad, like Kobe, you know, like that Kobe impact. I was already in it, like. And man, I had the boy, but still, it's just like every little thing. There's so many things. Him as a father, him as a figure, him as an inspiration. Every time you hear him talk, I love the. Have you seen that? I think it was Complex or something that they do. There's an interview with him and Kendrick Lamar.
And Kendrick, yeah.
And it's so impactful because they ask him. There's a part that they ask him like, how do you feel now that you have retired? That was the thing. He had just retired. So then, how do you feel? Like, what's next for you after all the things that you have been able to accomplish? Like, what is your mindset now that you are out of the league and you've done so much? Like, what do you think? How do you see that? And he said, for me, like, I just see it like if I failed. Like, for me, I failed because that's the energy that I want to just create new things and go at it with the same energy. And when he says, for me, I failed, and not literally. It's not that he felt that he failed. It's just that his mindset, that he doesn't want to fall back on how great he was on the court and then just live off that. No, it's like, for me, I failed. So, like, I just need to move on and get on something else. That's why he won the Oscar. Exactly. That's why he did the book. That's why he did the company, the Academy. But it's so funny how you see Kendrick's face when he says, no, for me, I failed. And he says it with that straight face. For me, I failed. And Kendrick is like, like, whoa, like, this is crazy. Like, I'm just experiencing that. Just you got to look at life and what you do in that way. Like, you cannot, we celebrate the things that we've done, but life keeps going. There's always, every moment is new. And a lot of people love to live and like, oh, I did this greatness this time, so like, I'm the greatest because I did that. Yeah, and I mean, I think he showed us that, and it's just that level of grit. You can do it, in any type of situation, like whether you're pursuing something in your career or within your family, having that level of grit, it just translates, and I think that's his impact. That somebody that's doing coding for a company can take those values and add them, just like, somebody, that's starting a nonprofit can take that in. And some of the stuff that I saw too was his involvements with nonprofits around the world, but also in Los Angeles, in South Central even. Yeah. Like the work that he was doing a lot of work around homelessness too. Yeah. So I remember he did a video a long time ago where he was like, he went into, I think it was Skid Row, and everybody was like, oh my God, Kobe. Yeah. Like, that would have been so crazy for like Kobe in South LA. Anybody, I mean, not in South LA, in Skid Row. In Skid Row. And anybody can go there, and it could be great. But for Kobe, he has everybody's respect in LA. Yeah. So But yeah, man, shout out to Kobe.
Yo, you still had that picture up?
Yeah, people had to see that. We talking about Kobe.
I was probably like 35 pounds right there.
We love you, Cole. But hey, we're gonna move on and we're gonna remember you every year, bro. And thank you for the inspirations. But we gotta go to the 101 today.
Dude, let's do 101.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Here's the 101 because our guest today is gonna be speaking more on the fashion side of things.
Fashion designer, entrepreneur.
He's incredible.
We're going to get to him. We're going to get to him. We're going to get to him, but we're going to keep it in that lane.
To keep it in track, the 101 is, what do you prefer and why between either formal like outfits or
dress
casual?
Code. That's dress code. We're talking about formal versus casual.
What's your vibe?
Man, it's we're gonna go into it because I know that you won.
I'm on one side.
You're on one side, and I'm
sure.
on the other side. But I like to be versatile, so I love to switch it up. And me, especially growing up in the salsa, salsa and merengue.
You gotta be fly.
We get the suited up, and I've done some vibes. I know how to do the little, the little suit, slacks, shoes. Real polished, I love that, and I love high fashion too. I'm a big fan of high fashion, but I have to say that I'm gonna go with the casual because I love streetwear, man. I love that's what I wear every day. Mm-hmm. Every day I wear streetwear, and coming from the culture of hip hop, I love hip hop. That hip hop just started doing the formal thing. Like back in early 2000, mm-hmm. That's when really it came into the scene. But streetwear was the norm, and it has been the norm. And I'm a sneakerhead. I love sneakers. I love the.
You were a skater too, right?
I am. I still am. What took me off the grid is that my knee. I need to go check my knee. I kind of messed up. That's why. But I have my skateboard in my trunk.
Okay, just in case.
I love skateboarding and that's one of the reasons why I moved to LA. Just skateboard and besides music and in the industry. But I gotta say casual, bro. Right. I love to wear the nice, little tee with simple stuff, jeans. Yeah. I can rock in the sneakers. I'm not gonna say no sneakers because we only wearing Magnus Alpha
today. Only Magnus Alpha, bro.
So we're not gonna say no other names. But I love streetwear, bro. I love the hype. I love all that. So I gotta go with the casual.
All right. I'm liking more casual as of like post 2020, because 2020 changed the game. Before that, I would go to work with like a tie and like a dress shirt, but
pandemic changed everything.
Like I don't think I'm gonna dress the same after this,
bro. It's hilarious. Like all the meetings,
right?
People are just with this little T-shirt on the Zoom meetings.
Like my work attire, is like one of my 8 hoodies. Like pre-pandemic, I had like 2 hoodies. Now it's like double digits. But I'm definitely going with formal. I don't know, man. I think since I was a kid, I always like to dress up. I like going to church.
Amen.
And my mom would dress me up.
Praise God.
So I like that. But yeah, like any chance I would get to dress up, whether it was for work or like anything, I would try it. So I like dressing up, and I like trying new things. So I'm definitely going with the formal attire.
Yeah, I know, man. I see you. I see you. You're always coming through. Sometimes y'all don't know because he looks this way, but when he comes from his job, sometimes he comes with the nice slacks and the shoes. Be like, yo,
you just feel empowered. You're like,
it's true. And I love going like dressing up to go to like a gala, or like a meeting, like a real meeting, a business meeting, because I'm gonna go casual, but when it's time to get down to business, you gotta show up looking, how you like, depends on what if you're gonna do a little music thing or if you're a streetwear dude, yeah, you can go however you want. But if you have a real meeting,
Yeah. No,
with
you gotta
them suits,
dress to impress.
you gotta go with the suits. So, what's your favorite formal combination? I want to hear that.
¿Cómo así? O sea, de like what to wear?
Like, what is your favorite formal and like dress up vibe that you like to do?
Like I'm pretty simple. I like just wearing the slacks. Usually some nice like dress up shoes. Matching the belt. Entonces I like sports coat with like a button up, no tie. Like just like that. I love that vibe.
Okay.
So it's not like entirely formal, but still dressy, So that's usually what I go for when I'm at work or like, out and about.
When I'm dressing up, I love to wear I like the tie. I'm a fan. I think I'm a fan of the tie. We know when the tie
the skinny tie or like the 90s like
No. The little
Eso que parece vómito. It looks like throw
una lengua, así like a long ass tongue. No. That I don't like that
Over
one.
here looking like a deacon, bro. Deacon TossTones.
Jesus, hallelujah. No, but I like the skinny tie, but I think I'm a fan of like the medium size one.
Okay.
Like a modern one.
Yeah.
I like that one. And when it comes down to I like suits.
Okay.
I'm a fan of suits, especially like trench coat suits. That's my vibe. That's TossTones right there. That's
NYC TossTones vibes.
Yeah, because we love NYC. But anyway, we let's move on to this greatness that we're gonna have here today.
Yeah, man, let's do it. So now that we've said what we like, we should introduce our guest for today.
Before we introduce him,
Okay.
I just need to let everybody know this dude is something else. It's a real designer. He designs sneakers. He's one of the best in the game designing sneakers. We're gonna talk about that. Sneakers and apparel.
Backpacks.
He got that. But let's let him know. His brand is called Magnus Alpha. Magnus Alpha.
That's right.
And it's just it can compete with it's premium stuff. Like we're talking about.
You showing that right now?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
there.
man.
Look, there we go. Go check it out. Go to magnusalpha.com and look at this drip.
That's incredible. Yo, but you know what's my favorite? The one that you pointed out. It's that style, but with the Dominican colors.
Yeah, that's the signature. That's the signature
Man.
style. He has a few too.
Just amazing.
Let's go shop now. Because you gotta go when we're done with the show. Go over there and check it out. Cop something. Grab something. But if not, just comment something. You go in the reviews. If you like something, go in there and drop a review. What do you think about it? Because it's always good to get the love. Look at that's the one. The tres golpes.
Yeah,
Woo!
that one.
That's my favorite, bro.
Yeah, that's
Dominican flag, cause my boy Dominican. Hey, shout out to my Dominicano. Hey, shout out to all my Caribbeans.
Dude, let's introduce him, man.
You wanna see the there's something that he did that I want to show to the people. He did Hispanic Heritage Month. He did this collection that's called Lourdes. He did it for his aunt. And I would everybody needs to check it out. Let me know. Everybody needs to check this out.
She was born in 1945 in Santiago, Dominican Republic. So growing up in the Dominican Republic during that time was a complete disconnect from the outside world. There was no resources. It was nothing but dirt roads within miles and acres of tropical farmland. There was no plumbing, there was no electricity, therefore there was no television. So she had no way of knowing what life off the island looked like. Yet she still found the courage, the motivation, and the determination to get off the island and bring her family along. She was the eldest of 5 sisters and 8 brothers, with a total of 13 siblings. The effort to get everyone off the island was an act of teamwork. It's 13 siblings. So they all managed to chip in together and strategically help one another get off the island. But she was the one that set the chain of events. So in 1970, she arrived in New York, and this was something completely unknown, an unknown world. There was no way of knowing what the harshest winter months were, and there was no way of knowing the living conditions, living in a building versus a small wooden shack. She developed this ongoing determination to seek a better life that upon living in New York, she completely created a network of friends, a community, and found a home there. And only within 4 years, she legally brought the rest of the family. She had this Hollywood vibe about her. And
She looked fire though.
it always rubbed off on everyone. Everyone wanted to be pretty around her. Everyone
she
wanted
had
to
style.
be
The
glamorous
swag,
around her. You know, that's the energy she brought into the room. But then again, she was very real. So Lourdes played a role in our lives that was very necessary and needed in a large family.
Wow.
So Lourdes had 2 daughters, the eldest females of all the cousins. And they were my big sisters. They were always around. So I was fortunate to have an incredible aunt and 2 incredible cousins to look after me and guide me through life. Yeah, she was a force of nature, man.
Yo, we gotta. Hey,
She was the
this is
epitome
amazing.
of.
We
an
gotta bring my boy in.
independent, strong
Let's do it.
Because this guy, we gotta
She
talk. I
raised
can't
her-
wait to talk to him and see what, what
No,
all the
I mean-
things we can learn from this dude.
So I just want to, everybody that's right now on YouTube and folks that are
On IG.
on IG, we're about to bring our guest in, but folks on YouTube that just saw this video, you can go on Magnus Alpha, click on Hispanic Heritage Month, and you can see this full video on there.
video.
But right for now, we're gonna have to introduce him and just
yeah.
hear directly from him because that was inspiring.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hommy Diaz.
Homie Diaz, what's going on, brother?
Dímelo. What's
Dímelo.
happening? Dímelo, de que I like that padrinito, the little padrinito.
La latita, la
With Kobe.
Yo.
Hey, man, thanks for joining us.
Of course, man. My pleasure, man. Thanks for the invite, man.
Hey, it's an honor to have you, man. And yo, and we just want to let everybody know that Homie, we want to know where you from exactly. Let them know. I already said a couple things. Where you from? And how you got to LA? We need to know that.
Yeah, man. I was born and raised in Queens, Flushing, Queens, to be exact. And yeah, so yeah, man. Parents, as you saw from the video, they're from the Dominican Republic. So I spent pretty much every summer in the DR from when I was born to like maybe 10 every summer, and then after that, it was like every other summer. And so I really got an upfront, experience with DR living. So I could never shy away from my roots. Hence the video I made about my aunt. And yeah, man, I grew up in New York, and I was inspired like you. I was a skateboarder. I had two ACL reconstructive surgeries on my right knee. So therefore, you won't ask me about why I'm not skating anymore. And then, I grew up skateboarding. So that was a big inspiration for me growing up with, design. That's what introduced me to art and design, was skateboarding. I started skateboarding around the age of 8. So that's what inspired me to look into, being creative, and it fueled my creative curiosity. And then my mother introduced me to Oscar de la Renta when I was a little kid, but I never saw what he looked like until I was at the end of my senior year in high school.
How was that? How was that? You just, that connection.
Yeah, well, it was crazy because, I'm the eldest grandson on my dad's side. So I have over 30 cousins, first cousins on both sides. Typical, Spanish family, huge. And I'm the eldest grandson on my dad's side. So I remember when I was around 11 or 12, I was at my dad's side of the family. We always used to have get-togethers every other weekend. And I remember I was at a family gathering, and one of my aunts asked me, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Because I'm the oldest, I'm the closest to reaching my dream in the line. So I said, "I want to be an artist." And she goes, "Ay, tú sabes que los artists don't become famous or rich until after they're dead, like Picasso. And I was like, damn, shut me down. So
Right away.
I was like, okay. I was like, all right, awesome. You know, like, cause she put me on the spot, you know, in front of everybody, all the cousins and the aunts.
Yeah.
And anyways, I thought my parents didn't care much about what she said, but it was interesting because sometime after that, coming home, I remember coming home from a different family gathering. We're driving home one night and we're approaching our neighborhood, but the commercial strip where all the shopping is. And there was a new perfume store that was saying grand opening coming soon. And my mom points, she goes, oh my God, look at that perfume store that's going to open. She goes, I wonder if they're going to have the new Oscar de la Renta perfume in there. And I'm like 11 or 12 years old. So I'm like, Oscar de la who? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, Oscar de la Renta. You know, he's an artist. He's famous. He's successful. And he's alive. But better yet, he's from the Dominican Republic. That shit blew my mind. I was like, diablo, me dio con eso. And I was like, all right, now I'm inspired. Like, no, being an artist is a real thing. But meanwhile, there was no internet back then. There was no way for me to be like Oscar de la Renta and read a story. You know, there was no way. Like, the only way I could do it is if I were by chance found an issue of a magazine that he's in and they talk about his history. Half the time it was just an ad, and it wasn't him in the ad. It was like a beautiful woman in a dress. So for years I didn't know what he looked like. And then crazy enough, again, I'm in junior high school during this time, and I'm in my senior year of high school. I walk into my first Spanish class of the year for my senior year, and by this point, I've pretty much let go of art because nobody kept giving me good feedback. Everybody would just be like, oh, art, yeah, whatever that is. Everybody just talked about the cliche careers, you know, a lawyer, whatever, a doctor. And those are the things that people, you know, our family and our friends and our peers would talk about. You know, if you want to be rich, you want to be a lawyer or this or that. Art was never considered a career. It was always considered a hobby for me. So anyway, yeah, exactly. So I went to
do it all the time. Like, you still get that from the people.
Exactly. So basically, you know, when I'm in high school for art, and the art school, I went to Bayside High School for art, but the school was really known for sports and other things. So art was like, the art department was like the ugly stepchild of the curriculum. So I'm like, man, what am I doing? Everywhere I go, like, everyone's like shutting me down on art. So by the time I'm in my senior year, I have to apply for college now. And I'm in an art school and nobody's talking about art schools. I'm like, man, this sucks. I'm like, man, maybe I'll go to the military. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't want to. And I felt that applying for schools was a scam because you have to pay to apply. Yeah. So I'm like, the people sitting next to me, I'm applying to 7 schools. I'm like, yo, that's like $700, bro. I'm applying to this. I'm like, yo, this is a scam. So I'm like, I'm depressed. I'm all out of it. I'm like, I'm not happy right now. Like, I'm just coasting through high school because I want to get the hell out. So back to the story. I walk into my Spanish class. The teacher happens to be Dominican. She's a female, beautiful woman, beautiful looking and beautiful personality. And she starts telling us stories. Instead of teaching us about Spanish, she's telling us stories. And all of a sudden she goes, blah, 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 blah. And then she goes, for an example, Oscar de la Renta. And she has a photo with him hanging on the wall. And this is the first time I see what he looks like. And I'm like, yo, look at God. This is crazy. I'm like, how crazy could this be, this sign? And right there, bro, I made my mind up and I applied to one college, and it was a design school. And all my guidance counselors and my teachers are like, you're an idiot. You're never going to get in. Your grades are not good. And you're applying to one school. You know, whatever, man. You're a lost case. And I got in and I graduated on time.
Wow. That's incredible, man.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Tell me about it, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, so we wanted to know, like, part of that story, I guess, continuing on that story. So, you know, I feel like I've heard a lot of people say that as a person of color going into that industry, it's a steeper, you know, accolade to achieve. How do you feel you going into this industry and the challenges that you've had to face?
I mean, everything's challenging, man. I mean, it's especially when you think of it being your first go at anything different or new, you know, it's all about failing fast to learn. So, I mean, you know, I've been in the industry now for what, 13, 14 years, and I still feel like I got a lot to learn. So I go about it every day as if, what am I trying to learn today? Let me find something to learn. Let me try to improve what I've learned and learn more about maybe something that I missed and what I think I know well. So I always go about it that way, man. Every day I'm just trying to educate myself. So, it's easy to commend somebody from the outside looking in, because you're like, oh, I see he's accomplished this, or he's accomplished. And it's like, for us, when we're looking at ourselves, we're like, we always feel like we haven't accomplished enough. So we're like, yo, we got to keep pushing and pushing. And, it's a weird perspective, but it's a reality. It's that social media syndrome. You go on somebody's social media feed, you only see the highlights.
Right, the highlights. That's the life we live in right now. But man, talking about that, like that's one of the things that caught my eye about you, is that your highlights feel so real, and that's what I appreciate about your art. And I'll tell you all the time, like, and also when you see what your inspiration, a lot of other designers and entrepreneurs that are in your lane, especially in the streetwear, they all want to do what's happening or what people will like, or let me just change. It don't matter what, you don't really feel their artistry on things. And I can see that everything, like, and you look at his shirt right now, product of an immigrant.
Oh yeah,
Yo, that hoodie is incredible, bro.
Incredible. The whole collection, because he got a whole collection that is the product of an immigrant. And I want you to talk about that. Like, what made you go that way, that route, and what you're trying to showcase and put forward.
Yeah, so basically, the opportunity to create my brand after putting in, a solid 10 years working for corporate brands, I wanted to tell, my story, my upbringing, and the roots of, for example, like my aunt. I'm a product of her. I'm a product of my parents. So everything I've looked at growing up has always been from the lens of that perspective, from an immigrant lens. I grew up in a Dominican household where we only spoke Spanish. Even though I was born in the U.S., my parents didn't speak English. During my childhood, they just didn't really know English. So everything was in Spanish. So basically, from my home, I was looking at the outside of my house from an immigrant lens, and then having to be forced to go out to school, have to look at America, being forced to turn around and look at my household from an American lens, because they weren't teaching me my culture in school. They were teaching me the American culture. So there was always that clash. There was always that interesting, dynamic of, again, spending all my summers in DR and, bañándonos en una latrina in the weekend.
Hold up. Where in DR were you?
Los Mina.
Los Mina. I haven't been
Yeah,
there.
Where is that? North?
That's the capital. That's the hood, bro.
Also in Santo Domingo?
Yeah, that's the hood, bro.
Oh, yeah. I might have been
I know El Lapis is from there. A couple people that are blowing up right now from there. Yep. But Los Minas is like the grind, the grit, the hood, like caliente.
Caliente, eso es caliente, sí, pero I love Dominicana, man. We were talking about this last
episode. We were raving about it.
We were, and we were talking about that, and how I love Dominicana so much. I went there like since I was a kid, and it's like I have it right there with Puerto Rico. Like if they talk to me, I've had this conversation with people from Puerto Rico, like, yo, if I gotta tell you something, like go over there and you see what I mean. Like it's so dope. But I wanted to ask about that because we were talking about Aventura
versus
I want to know his
Romeo Santos.
Take.
Aventura versus Romeo Santos. Who do you take?
What do you think is better?
OG or new flow?
Man, the OG stuff is just too classic at this point. I appreciate what Romeo's doing on a solo, career, which is amazing. I'm inspired by what he's accomplished on his own. I'm not surprised by what he's accomplished on his own, simply because, I've been listening to them since the first album, and I even heard of them before they when they really became, when they got signed and they put out the first album. So, there was a buzz about them in the streets, and, because I would party in the Bronx, and I had family in the Bronx. Actually, that when my aunt asked me that question, I think it was in one of my aunt's house in the Bronx. So I knew of them early on. So I was blessed to witness them, come up. So for me, I just saw the progression. And then basically to get to your question, they just have too many classics under their belt as Aventura versus Romeo. Well, he's on his third album, third album now, solo album. I think.
Yeah, but he has a
Third
bunch
or
of
fourth.
singles.
Yeah. So I mean, again, I like what he's doing, but man, there's just a lot of nostalgia already built up based on Aventura, you know. So it might take another 10 years when, you know, the Romeo songs are very nostalgic, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it still won't be the same, at least for us, right?
It will never be
No.
the same.
We have those memories tied. Like, you can't change that.
You can never erase
Yeah.
that.
Exactly.
You can never erase. It's timeless. It's timeless. But
Yeah.
anyway, I just wanted to get your take on that. But back to we got to talk about this right here. We got about the guys. go right now after the show, and just check it out and buy something. Support. Leave a comment. What is Magnus Alpha? What does that mean? What was the inspiration behind it?
Yeah, so Magnus is the Latin word for great, and Alpha is the Latin word for dominant. So put it together, it's great dominance. And I was inspired to create a brand that promotes great dominance of your identity, hence being a product of an immigrant. Champion that, expose that, you know, be proud of that. And that's how I feel about my upbringing, that yeah, there was some times along the way where I may have lost some kind of confidence for not knowing English quick enough or fast enough and learning how to read quick enough because I came from a Spanish household. So there was always those moments where you felt embarrassed or you felt out of place, you know. And I say, yo, actually, that's a good thing. I'm very thankful to this day that my parents taught me Spanish, and now I know 2 languages. And for me, when I hear somebody with an accent, I see that as an advantage.
Yeah.
Because you speak. So if you make fun of someone with an accent, I'm gonna ask the person who's making fun of that person. The first thing is how many languages do you speak?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Facts.
if you're making fun of someone with an accent, or if you are fluent in more than one language and you're making fun of someone, it doesn't give you the right, but you have the upper hand. But it's not cool. So basically, like I said, like feel proud of your background and your roots and embrace that. So that's why the brand, I wanted to take a moment to create a legacy and hopefully become nostalgic, you know, 20 years from now, where I'm promoting this championing of being, you know, very, very confident in your roots and using that as a luxury, because that's why I create luxury products, is to represent the luxury of being a product of an immigrant. No lo revés. I don't want to make cheap product. I know people will go on there and be like, oh, it's pricey, but the quality and the craftsmanship was very intentional. You know, I've had, like I said, over 10 years of experience. I know how to make a really cheap shoe, and I know how to make a really expensive shoe. And even with that, I came in the middle because I'm competing with Gucci and Louis Vuitton quality, but at a more accessible price.
So let me just make a pause. For those people in IG that want to get on the show, we're talking right now to Hommy Diaz, the designer and owner of Magnus Alpha. Please join us. You can log in through the link on bio at Happening Downtown LA, and then just jump right in. He's telling us all about his brand. He's telling us all about you know, his story and his background. You know what I appreciate about what you just said, man, is that you didn't start like a, you know, a Walmart brand. And I appreciate that because you're really just highlighting the culture, man. You're highlighting your background in such an elevated way. Like you didn't, you know, steep down to anybody's expectations, because there's expectations placed on people, and there's expectations placed on ethnic backgrounds, and you're just elevating, you know, yourself and all of us with you, you know, with your brand, man. So that's beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's an example of the inspiration, because they always expect people of color to go that route, to do you Dominicano, you Boricua, you Afro, whatever, you probably making some T-shirts and some little things there, or some sneakers. But that's we're so proud of you, man, because you put in that work, and it's the quality, bro. It's the quality that can stand next to any of those brands that you said, Gucci, Louis, whatever, Prada, Fendi, and it's up there. And it's your shoe, if they sold it, they would sell it like $3,000, and not even as good, not even as the quality as because, you know, sometimes it's just the name,
right?
And
it's facts,
right? You know, and they put their name on something, and it's some cheap stuff, and they sell it for like thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
let's not name anybody, but we've all been there.
Yep.
Hey, I got a question for you. So you know you've done a lot of work on the corporate side for people. What is the biggest difference between that and transitioning to doing your own, your own thing and running your own shop?
Well, I mean, the first difference is, freedom. Obviously, as a brand owner, you create your lane, your path. You set your delivery schedules. You can either adhere to the fashion schedule, spring, summer, fall, winter, or you could drop something every other month. Like, for example, like a Supreme, they make drops every Thursdays or whatever it is now. I don't know if it's changed, but you have your own ability to set the rules. Whereas when you're working for a corporate company, A, it's not your brand. B, they have partners, or whether they're public, and what keeps them, traditionally afloat are retailers. So you have to deliver to retailers by a certain time, every season. If not, they can cancel the order or they can do a chargeback. So what that means is there's a clause, there's like a contract. If you deliver 10 days late, that's 10% off. I got charged. You got to take 10% off the top. If it's 20 days, whatever. If it's 90 days or whatever, like they can cancel. So, you got to really adhere to a calendar, and you live and die by the calendar. So sometimes you're pressured into sacrificing your creativity just to meet a deadline. So that's, that's a big difference within itself. So for me, having my own brand, I could do a program like Lourdes, which was amazing. And we donated to if you see the video, when you watch it, it's probably it was only like 2 or 3 more minutes left to the punch of why I did it. And we donated to a special cause. And it was, that's something that in a corporate world, I'd have to go through a lot of red tape. It could take anywhere between 18 months to, a solid 2 years to get it to the public, where that program took me, I want to say 4 months to get it to launch it, from
2 years
amazing.
to they might not even do it because it's like,
Exactly,
what you talking
yeah.
about? What you talking about? An immigrant from Dominicana? What? No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Hey man, that story was really moving.
Yes.
With La Señora Titi Lourdes. That was awesome, man. Could you tell us more, because we obviously we couldn't get through the whole video, but
It's all good.
But could you tell us a bit more about why you went that route, from your own words, and what the project was like, in the process of designing it, all of it?
Yeah, so basically, the idea is I wanted to do this mini documentary to, first of all, highlight my aunt, because I wanted to do this, I would say 5 days after making the brand legit, because she, like I mentioned in the video, she was the first to leave the Dominican Republic to set foot in the United States and then blaze that trail for her brothers and sisters to follow. So basically, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't exist right now. So she is crucially responsible for my existence. A, for my existence in the United States. B, for taking the initiative, or I don't know, she felt it in the air, took my mother as a little, as a young woman, fresh in New York, took her to Central Park, and this handsome guy that they recognized from the DR, from Los Minas también, because they were from Los Minas, ellos se conocían, but they were little kids. They were little kids. Wow. So now they met as, late teens, early 20s, and my aunt was like, déjame hacer algo aquí. And they got together, and I was born into this beautiful family, so again, I wanted to tell those type of stories that that kind of atmosphere, that's the true meaning of luxury. That is what I see as luxury, not tangible things. To me, luxury are not tangible things. Luxury, the way we perceive luxury today, is very well. All right, for example, if you're gonna say, well, luxury means quality, luxury means the best quality, the best materials. Lavish. I mean, I can cut that out right now, because women today spend $2,500 above on a Louis Vuitton bag, and guess what? It's canvas coated. It's not even leather.
For real.
But they see it as a leather. It's actually canvas and PVC coated. So it's not, it's like, it's plastic. It's not even real leather. And they're paying 5 times to 10 times what a leather bag costs. So, you know, it just goes to show you that luxury is a perception that's not necessarily, it gets drawn down to a physical, tangible item. So for me, I found that luxury is an example of luxury is having a family that loves you. Because hay mucha gente que viven en la vida que ni tienen familia, or they don't even have a relationship with their family, or they don't have, you know, multiple homes to go break bread in. And not because of like, hey, I tengo hambre, no tengo donde comer, pero it's a huge difference when you don't have money to eat, or if you have money to eat, but you don't have no one to eat the food with, even if you're a millionaire. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be a millionaire and that you live a luxury lifestyle, and you have a chef that cooks for you, pero está en la mesa solo comiendo a 5-star meal.
Esa es la verdad.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we can say, you know, that you are not redefining luxury, but just bringing it back to its true meaning.
Yeah,
yo, that's fire.
Yep.
That's fire.
Man, that's what this, man, I consider you one of my mentors, man. And for real, like, it's an example.
Humble,
anybody that is creating anything, you don't have to be just an artist, a musician, or designer. If you're creating anything, you know, this is someone that you want to look up to because of his story and because of what he brings to the table, which is genuine. We said it earlier. When you create something, it should be honest. Right. Like art and expression, anything that we touch should be honest. There's no reason for you to try to like brush it up to appeal to anybody that doesn't even care about you at the end of the day. Like, so, you know, this is what I mean. Like, this is the real luxury. Like right now I have my new kid, and he has, you have 3 beautiful children, and the luxury, the real luxury is being able to enjoy what we do with them. And to pass it over. And that's the things, that's the people that we need to look up to.
Homie, let me ask you this. Is there anything upcoming? Any new drops?
Any drops coming
that you want to tell the people?
Oh, if you don't want, I mean, if it's still on the works,
it might be too exclusive.
But if you have a little something or something.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely a lot of things in the works for, like, you know, just to back it up for the last point that you made about the luxury, like, you know, obviously a lot of us are hurting with, you know, the pandemic, and I'm taking L's left and right. So, you know, I'm taking losses left and right like everybody else is. But the fact that I have kids and I could be home with them, it supersedes the L's. You know what I'm saying? So like right now, I have every reason to be mad, depressed, or just, you know, really, for lack of better words, be unmotivated with my career right now, because it's just hard to really do things these days. Right. But because of my family and having kids, I'm like, man, this is all things considered, this is actually a beautiful thing to be home with them and really spend quality time with them while you try to work. You know what I mean? Like, I know some people can't afford to do that, but, you know, in this regard, like, you gotta find the positive inside the negative. Right. So, you know, and that's where I'm at right now. So in terms of projects, there's a lot of projects on the table, pero con todo lo que está pasando, I don't know. I could only give you wishful thinking dates, but I will add that what I just launched recently for this past Hispanic Heritage Month also was a pair of pants that I made in DTLA. Well, I make all my apparel in downtown LA. Hence, the show is supported by downtown LA. So I do all my apparel in DTLA, and then I do all my leather goods in Mexico. The reason being is, like I said, I've been in the industry for so long, and all the corporate brands that I've worked for are all, you know, traditionally manufacturing in China. I've traveled a lot to China. It's quite a tasking, you know, effort, and I wanted to pivot. I wanted to say, you know what? Let me make things on this side. Let me make things on this side of in this continent. Y en eso, let me make it in Mexico. Let me go Latino. Let me tap into those resources, and you see the leather goods that we have. In terms of the clothes, going back to the clothes, I wanted to make the clothes in DTLA because, again, I wanted to contribute to this economy. You know, make sure that people are employed here and making their living here versus, you know, 9 out of 10 things that are being made or overseas, where it could be made here. So right now during the COVID, when it really hit, you know, a lot of Latinos in particular lost their jobs. Why? Because many Latinos, their gateway into the U.S. workforce are factories. You know what I'm saying? So they lost, the first people that took a hit were factory workers. So I created these pair of pants to create this like concept of take a walk in these pants. You know, let's take a walk in these pants and support each other.
Is that the joggers?
Yeah, the joggers. So
I love
you
those.
know,
Yeah,
I
you
just
love
released
those.
I love those.
Yeah. So those, you know, those are available now. We did a like, you know, a launch program during the Hispanic Heritage Month, because that was like the real, you know, peak of like everything being shut down. And you know, thankfully, you know, with that effort, we were able to support over like 10 Latino owned or operated businesses, and it helped keep about 80 people working during that period of time. So that's what the brand is about. It's about creating opportunity and having a purpose in what we do. I can easily call China, which I have a lot of contacts, and be like, yo, make me these pants for like $20. I'm like, no, I'd rather make them here for like, you know, a lot more than that and sell them for a reasonable price. But the quality, you know, again, even the China ones, I bought pairs of pants to compare, and the quality on these pants are, you know, by far. I mean, the zippers are made in DTLA. Literally, the zippers are made here. The elastics are made here. The materials is sourced here in the U.S. Everything was cut and sewn in LA, bro.
Hey, that's really dope that you're focusing on moving, or you have moved things here. But I think the fashion industry, it's an industry that in the past it's been like it has just been tainted, you know, with bad labor practices.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Have you witnessed that? You know, how do you manage that as somebody that's obviously trying to do a good product, but at the same time you have to make some profit? Like how have you seen that in this industry?
Well, I mean, the issue is that not every one factory are created equal. You know, there's not like it's not like factory A and factory B are exactly alike. So as a designer, you have to understand and learn quickly what that factory's capabilities are and their specialty, and really leverage that first. So, for example, like you're not going to take, you know, I'm just throwing something out there. You're not going to take a motorcycle. You're not going to want to build a motorcycle in a bicycle shop. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, even though they're son iguales, quien dice, you know, but you don't want to, yo, build me a motorcycle. All right. Yeah. I see you make dope BMX bikes, but make me this motorcycle. So you have to really understand that up front. In terms of like capabilities and quality, it can all be done here in the U.S. It's being done here in the U.S. and the quality is at many times better. Obviously, the price is a little more because the labor is more expensive. But when you compare apples to apples, time is money. The time is going to take you to make something that's 13-hour difference or whatever. You got to import it, pay import tax. It takes, you know, over 30 days on boat. Or if you fly it in, you're paying a lot more to fly it in.
Mm-hmm.
You get it. And after all that energy and time, which is money, you receive the product and it's not right. Yeah, you just lost so much time. Was it really worth it? Versus you come down with me to downtown LA and you could see the job right there on the spot. And it, you know, cause things happen. He said, algo went wrong. You can correct it on the spot. You can make adjustments. In China, you won't make adjustments until you get it.
Yeah, and then that's another month to get the
adjustment. Yeah. I mean, all the time, I hear people, you know, walking into my shoes today, and they're like, "Yo, man, I did my line, and by the time when I got it, man, everything was wrong." And I'm like, and you're stuck, you know, you're stuck. Good luck charging them back and getting, you know, not all factories are willing to work with you. They'll be like, "Nope, I'm done with you. You know, that's it. I did it. If you didn't like it, then whatever." Some factories, some are great. Some will be like, "Look, we'll make this up to you. Let's work this out." But again, you don't get the time back.
Yeah.
You got to go through it again, you know?
No, eso está fuerte.
So eso demasiado. But before we close it out, what brought you to LA? Why are you here? What inspired you to come to Los Angeles?
Well, I mean, I always wanted to be on the West Coast in Cali. You know, I grew up skateboarding, so it was always the dream, you know, like, so, but, you know, skateboarding didn't work out, you know, during the time when I was at my peak of my skateboarding ability. There was no money in the skate industry at the time. Like it was in its lowest, ebbs and flows, and that the flow was para abajo at the time. So anyway, so I just applied to that one college and I got in Parsons School of Design. Fast forward, I graduated May of 2001, and that was May. And then September 11th, 2001 happened. So getting a job in the industry of the creative industry was really tough at that time. So I ended up getting a job with Apple Computer as a business liaison, selling to creatives, you know, selling to businesses, and DC Shoes became one of my clients. And the person that was, that I was working with, we knew each other from the past. And he was like, wait a minute, you know everything about skateboarding. So we got to talking, we started creating ideas. I created a collaboration between Apple and DC Shoes for the DC Shoes employees, like at the Soho store. And that took off, and that led to them offering me a job. And they're like, look, we need you on our team. And they relocated me to San Diego in 2007, right there, right after the new year. And I hit the ground running with my footwear career from there. I was the global product line manager for the lifestyle. So it wasn't the skate division. It was taking skate cues and putting it into fashion in a streetwear direction. Yeah. And I hit the ground running, man. I've been here since 2007.
Full circle.
Yo, that's like a dream come true for a skater, man.
For real. For real.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't make it to Cali based on skateboarding, but I made it to Cali in a professional setting under a skateboard brand that I actually wore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, I couldn't have written a better story, you know, for my trajectory and my path. Like I couldn't make it up, you know. I'm a dreamer, but I could have never conceptualized that into a dream, you know.
That's beautiful.
That's
man.
Amazing.
Hey, TossTones, I think it's time for the top fire.
It's time for the top fire.
He's not ready.
He's not ready.
I'm glad we didn't tell him.
Remember, guys, we got every week we have the top fire, which means your top 5 of the topic that we give you, right? And we're gonna talk about it and see what we have today, Padrino. What we have?
What's today, bro? What's today?
We got the top fire Caribbean foods. ¿Cuál es tus 5 comidas favoritas del Caribe?
Pero chequéate. Van a ser not top 5 plates. Van a ser los lugares. So you can name a country or like a place within that country, and that would be like your choice. Like
and
whatever,
what you like there.
Yeah, what you like there. So top 5 from anywhere.
Fire.
In the Caribbean.
Okay. Only in the Caribbean.
Only the
solamente
Caribbean.
En el Caribe, sí.
Solo el Caribe.
Damn.
Nuestra casa.
No, of course. I mean, un chicharrón de pollo right there in and around Los Minas. That's for sure.
There you go. All right. Woo! Number 1.
I love that.
You know?
Un chicharrón de pollo. O sea, a mí siempre like that to me chicharrón is always like cerdo, right? But like
but I know. It's different. It hits different.
It hits different, boy. I mean, you know, they put chicharrón de pollo en mofongo. You know what I'm saying? So I know that's, you know, we do that real well, you know.
I love that.
So, you know, that would technically be number 2. If not, I could take that out. But I mean, you know, yeah, man. I mean, for me, like obviously, yeah, you know, definitely in there per the shoe that I did, los tres golpes. You know, they don't really call it a tres golpe in DR, but you know, that's what it is, man. You know,
explain to the people what the tres golpes. What does that mean?
So the tres golpes is salami, plátano majado, so we call it mangú. And then el queso frito or huevo. You know, you know, for the 3 you can substitute whichever
hits,
one.
Right? That's like 3 hits. That hits hard.
Yeah. The shoe is almost as good.
So you got 2 more, right? 2 more. What other 2 in the top fire?
Damn, I'm trying to think outside of DR. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've been to PR several times. So I'm trying to think, you know, what I ate there. I mean, arroz bichuelo, guandule, you know.
There you go.
You know, like, you know, I mean, the food, la comida, it's too close to each other. So I'm trying to divide, you know. I know
We're very similar.
Yeah, mofongo comes from PR, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
You know, so but we mash it up there too, like crazy, you know.
You got the mango in Dominicana, and we got the mofongo. It's the same, but different vibe, but it's still the same root.
No, I mean, talking about roots, I mean, una yuca con cebolla roja y vaina.
You know?
I'm hungry. I'm getting hungry.
I know, man.
You know?
He already gave us like 7, man. I'm over here starving.
He got the top 5. You wanna say your top 5?
Yeah, bro. I think I mean, in the Caribbean, I just have to go. I think mofongo is probably one of the most creative things in the Caribbean. I'm gonna go with that, and I'm entirely biased. So I'm gonna go with that. I think I will say Cuban food second. I'm gonna go with that. I think mango. I just think mango and mofongo should just be like the same.
It's not.
It's a different vibe, but
it's
it's
a different
the same
vibe. I love
concept.
the mango, but it's different. It's like it hits different.
I know.
You know
mango
what it is,
breakfast, right?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, mango is breakfast.
You can eat it for anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's more breakfast brunch-ish, you know, technically.
Yeah.
But for me, mofongo and mango is like arroz con habichuela roja con la salsa versus moro de habichuela negra. Or, you know, they're the same, but they're not the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a little difference to it, how it's done, how it's put together, you know?
All right, so I'm going to go with mango for number 3. Number 4, yo.
Con cebolla, sin cebolla.
Con cebolla.
Con cebolla obligado.
Sí.
Y en escabeche.
Yeah.
Sí. So number 4, I'm gonna have to go with Jamaican food, bro.
Like jerk chicken,
stew beef, all of that good stuff,
that
bro. I'm about it. And then honestly, like I think last, I would say all the fried dough in the Caribbean. So I'm talking about like New Orleans fried dough, like what do they call them? I forget the name, pero son como arepa.
Como arepa,
sí.
Sí.
Son como
arepa.
Yeah, I don't know how they got the name in New Orleans. I don't know the name, but I know that it's the same.
But I like me encanta the fried jacks, the arepas, that one in New Orleans, like all those fried dough, like in the Caribbean, that's just my thing,
all
bro.
day.
Yeah,
all
diabetes straight to the heart, bro.
High cholesterol. Was that yours? Okay.
Yeah, that was my 5.
So my top fire, I gotta say, mofongo.
Okay.
I live for it, but and then I'm gonna go number 2 with my name, TossTones.
Okay.
Wow.
Even though, yeah, right here you can see the tostón right there.
That's what's up. I love that.
That's my favorite. I can eat that every day.
Especially with convite.
Con bistec encebollado. Oh my God.
Homie me tiene bien
I need to go. We need to go right now to this Puerto Rican food.
Is cochinito open? We gotta go to cochinito.
Right? Man, I wish. But yeah, I got the mofongo, I got the tostones, and I'm gonna have to go with the mango for sure.
Okay.
I'm all plantain. I'm all top 3 is plantain. I gotta go with the mango.
Tiene la mancha por ahí.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the main difference between mofongo and mango is that the mango es hervido el plátano. Instead of fried,
no
like
frito.
right?
Mango es hervido.
Es hervido. That's why it has that little that softer consistency.
Yeah.
It's because it's not fried. So that's
it's mashed. It's like mashed potatoes. It's mashed plantains. We
literally
mash it
like
the
mashed
same
potatoes.
way.
Yeah. I gotta say,
You got 2 more.
woo, where can I go with this one? I think I love and this is kind of broad because it's very Afro descendant. It's all over the Caribbean. Is that coconut arroz con coco? You know what I mean? When they make that rice with cocoa, they make it in Loíza, they make it in Dominicana, they make it in Cuba, they make it in Guyana.
Yeah.
They make it everywhere. It's that coconut rice, like salty and coconut together. That's my thing. And then I gotta say alcapurria.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That fried doughs, all the fried doughs at the end of the day, that's our thing. We love it.
Whatever dough.
But alcapurria, when you hit that, when you know you get that alcapurria, do you guys have something like that in Dominicana? Something like that, like a fried
I'm
dough?
pretty sure we do.
Right? Man, I think that's my top fire. I think that's my top fire. I think that's my top fire. But man, Hommy Diaz, go follow him. Go follow him at Hommy Diaz, HOMMYDIAZ. That's right? At Hommy Diaz.
Yep.
Go follow
Correct.
him. And,
on all platforms.
All platforms, and go check Magnus Alpha. You're not gonna regret it. And leave a comment if you like any product that you like. Just leave a comment. Hey, I love this, or whatever you feel about it. If you can buy it, support. We appreciate you, and thank you, homie, man. Gracias, de verdad. God bless you and your family. And we're gonna keep building. That's what this is about, to just keep growing this Latinx community in downtown LA and beyond. So thank you so much, bro.
Thank you, brother. Man, we like super admire you. This is a good conversation. I'm sure people out there are really like, you know, I know there's people, and I'm seeing the comments, some people that are building brands and building their businesses. So I'm sure this was really helpful to them, and hopefully they can get inspired when they see Magnus Alpha.
He dropped gems.
He
dropped some gems.
He did.
So thank you, bro. We're going to see you soon. God bless you, man.
All right, man. Take care. Talk soon.
Peace. So now we're going to close it out with...
Vamos allá.
We're going to close it out with some suelta, right?
Suelta. Dale,
you know how we do it. Let's see. This is what we got today.
Yeah.
Okay. Plena. Zumbo. Y cuando yo zumbo, tú sabes que lo rompo y lo rompo. Y meneo como trompo, pa' que vea como sombo. Ellos dime que tú quieres. Yo te traigo lo duro, te traigo el conjuro y no paramos, no te lo juro.
Cuando yo le meto como el tambor. Mami, tú sabes que yo vengo con el mambo y vengo pasando, tripeando y jangueando. Estoy con el pana mío, TossTones, nos metemos hasta el infinito. Magnus Alpha, nos metemos DDR como el alfa.
Hey, tú sabes que ando en la mía, homie. Tuvimos al caballo, homie. Tú sabes que no paramos y tú sabes que la rompemos. Y no, si no sabes que viene, te lo rompo. Pa' que tú veas como lo zombo. Si no quieres, pues entonces vente que tongo.
Mira, le meto con la plena, mi nena. Tú sabes que salimos con estema. Y yo cambio el esquema. Vengo con una unión afuera, de afuera pa' adentro. Tú sabes que vino el padrino muy centro.
Hey.
Estamos en el centro de ley, metiéndole fuerte. Tú sabes cómo es.
Hey, estamos en LA. Y sabes que tenemos la ley. Y no importa de dónde tú vengas, güey, porque somos dominicanos, boricua, tú sabes, men. Y no vamos a parar de decirte, porque no queremos confundirte. Tenemos el flow que sabe que no puedes predecirme. No vengas porque te